Hi everyone! Just past midnight today, a shocking piece of news sent ripples around the world. Israel has launched a massive airstrike on Iran, codenamed Operation Rising Lion. Explosions lit up the skies over cities like Tehran, fireballs rising into the night. It's being called the largest attack Iran has faced since the Iran-Iraq War, with some reports even claiming that IRG Commander-in-Chief Salami and Chief of Staff Bagheri were killed in the strikes. Right now, the world's eyes are back on the ancient, turbulent Middle East, and one urgent question is on everyone's mind. Why did Israel strike now? And what does this mean for the region and the world? Let's dive into the fog surrounding this stunning operation. First question, why now? Why June 13th? This timing is no accident. Just a day before the airstrike, the IAEA Board of Governors passed a resolution accusing Iran of failing to meet its nuclear non-proliferation obligations. That gave Israel some legal wiggle room to act under the banner of preemptive defense. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu made it clear this move was meant to neutralize the threat Iran poses to Israel's survival. Intelligence reports suggest Iran may be getting dangerously close to the nuclear point of no return. Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, has warned repeatedly, if Iran goes unchecked, they'll soon have the capability to build nuclear weapons, a threat Israel sees as unacceptable. From a military standpoint, now is a strategic window. During operations last October, Israel had already damaged parts of Iran's air defense. Iran has been scrambling to rebuild, but the system is still vulnerable. Striking now means maximum effectiveness, minimal losses. What's more, the timing is highly symbolic. The airstrike came just days before a new round of nuclear talks between Iran and the U.S., set to happen in Oman on June 15th. Some say Israel wanted to derail the talks, or at least pressure Washington by creating facts on the ground, a way to gain more leverage in any future deal. This strike has now plunged the Middle East into an extremely dangerous new phase. On the military front, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei has vowed a severe and decisive retaliation, warning that Israel will face a painful fate. Tensions are now sky high, and the risk of a direct military clash between the two countries has never been greater. Iraq, for instance, has already closed its airspace, a sign of how worried neighboring countries are about the conflict spreading. On the political front, this attack could reshuffle the region's balance of power. If Iran takes a serious hit, it may no longer be able to support its allies in Syria, Hezbollah in Lebanon, or the Houthis in Yemen as effectively. This could open up new space for Sunni powers like Saudi Arabia to gain the upper hand. And economically? Let's not forget the Middle East is the heart of global energy supplies. Even a small disruption can shake markets. The moment news of the strike broke, oil prices jumped, and so did the price of safe haven assets like gold. If this turns into a long-term conflict, the Hormuz Strait, through which a huge chunk of the world's oil flows, could be at risk. That could mean global shortages and skyrocketing prices. But this isn't just a military or political crisis, it's deeply religious and ideological too. This is a showdown between a Jewish state and a Shiite Islamic regime. A full-scale war would likely fuel hardliners and religious extremists on both sides, stir up nationalism, and make peaceful resolution even harder. This crisis is also a test of how the world's major powers will respond. For the U.S., Israel's closest ally, this is a serious dilemma. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has made it clear the U.S. wasn't involved in the attack. This was Israel's unilateral decision. But he also said the U.S. believes Israel had a legitimate right to self-defense. This highlights the Trump administration's contradictory stance, supporting Israel's tough position, while not wanting to get pulled into another war. And that's the big question. If Iran retaliates big, will the U.S. be dragged in? Tens of thousands of American troops are stationed across the region. Washington has already taken steps to protect its forces and has warned Iran not to target U.S. interests. But if things escalate, the U.S. might not have a choice. Europe, meanwhile, also finds itself in a tough spot. The EU and key member states helped push the IAEA resolution against Iran. Now, they're calling for restraint on all sides, but balancing their stance between condemning violence, maintaining regional stability, and supporting Israel won't be easy. And then there's China. As a global power and permanent member of the UN Security Council, China's position matters. In the IAEA vote, China and Russia opposed the anti-Iran resolution, signaling a clear divergence from the West. After the airstrikes, China's embassy in Tehran urged its citizens to take safety precautions. China is a major buyer of Iranian oil and has major interests in Middle East stability, especially for its Belt and Road Initiative. So Beijing will likely push for mediation, not confrontation. The fallout from Operation Rising Lion is still unfolding. Once again, the Middle East stands at a historic crossroads. Will the region slide into deeper chaos, or can diplomacy prevail? For Israel, this strike may offer short-term relief, but will it really eliminate the existential threat? Hitting Iran's nuclear sites might slow its program or harden its resolve. For Iran, the challenge is immense. If they don't retaliate, they'll look weak, but if they go too far, it could trigger all-out war. Every option carries massive risk. For neighboring countries, another war spells disaster. Saudi Arabia and the UAE may not want Iran to grow stronger, but they also fear the fire spreading to their own homes. And for the world, a destabilized Middle East could spark an energy crisis, a wave of refugees, or even a rise in terrorism. No country would be left untouched. Right now, the world is holding its breath, watching the Middle East, this ancient powder keg, once again on the brink. History has shown us, force rarely solves the root of the problem. Dialogue and reconciliation are the only real way out. The big powers must rise to the occasion, set aside ideology, find common ground, push for peace, because history will remember this moment. Did we let the flames of war consume us, or did we have the courage to take the first step toward peace? Thanks for watching. We'll keep you updated as this story develops.